go out in the woods tonight, you're in for a big surprise. If you go out in the woods tonight, you won't believe your eyes, because you'll see the Red Green Show! Starring Canada's favorite outdoorsman, Red Green, obviously. And now here's the host, and by happy circumstance, well, you know, at least for me, my uncle. And here he is, Red Green!
Thank you very much, Harold. Thank you. Welcome to the show. We got a real good show for you tonight, not like last week's show. I'm not blaming anyone.
That wasn't my fault.
This is Harold. He's producer and director of the show.
Which means I do a lot of this.
That's in lieu of content.
Well, I don't think you should blame me for what happened.
Well, Harold, you're the one who decided it'd be fun and outdoorsy to have a trained elephant on the show. Folks, that elephant was not trained.
The lodge looks good as new.
How about the smell, Harold? When does that go away?
I think we should discuss something else. Let's go to another segment. Do an intro. Go.
Now, here's something else that Harold is responsible for. Let's see how it smells.
One mistake, one little mistake.
There was more than one, Harold, and they weren't little.
In the cool of the evening when the sun goes down, that's when the bunch of us can be found. Down by the campfire like so many elves, sitting here, standing there, scratching ourselves, alone or all in a bunch. Scratching ourselves. Be sure and wash your hands before lunch. This week in the Handyman Corner, we're going to show you how to solve the oil crisis. A good start is to go with a lightweight vehicle such as this one. Made entirely of wood, so she's not going to rust out on you. And it's lightweight, practical, simple, easy to park, excellent visibility. Plus, it only takes one person, which should save a few marriages. Now, with this unit, you steer it with your feet, which leaves your hands free to use as brakes. Now, of course, the next step on this one was to figure out what kind of a fuel-efficient engine I could use on this unit. And my first thought was the JetX cubes. Those little cubes, I used to use them on my model cars and my model boats and what have you. But I phoned the JetX people, and they wouldn't sell it to me in a 200-pound block. So I had to come up with the next best thing. A fire extinguisher. So what I do here is I can squeeze the trigger, fires the extinguisher, and I'm holding the nozzle out the back, and away I go. I should be able to hit 30 or 40 mile an hour on a flat road, putting out fires as I go. But as they say, the proof of the pudding is usually written on the label. So let's give her a try. Well, either I'm going to have to lose some weight or we're going to have to up the horsepower of the engine. So what I've done is I've attached 4 fire extinguishers to the unit, and I've used the Handyman secret weapon here, duct tape, to position everything, and I've put a scarf on as well because this CO2 gets pretty cold, and I wouldn't want to be driving down the highway 70, 80 mile an hour with a frozen head. Anyway, I think we're all set, and I think I'll be saying goodbye now, just in case. So until next time, remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. 3, 2, 1.
We'll be right back with more of the Red Green Show, and unless, of course, Harold has booked another rampaging elephant this week.
I'll have to check. Kidding.
It is winter. What is that blowing sound? Blowing long and hard for months on end. Is it the cruel north wind? No, it's your kid's nose. Anyway, as I was saying, if you missed last week's show, well, you're a very fortunate person. We had that elephant on. And, yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? I mean, mind you, we were planning to renovate the lodge anyway. We just didn't figure we'd have to rebuild it from the ground up. This show is about life here at the lodge, you know, with our regular guests and what have you. And how we ever ended up blindfolded and walking an elephant is beyond me.
It was a seeing eye elephant.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
A seeing eye elephant. Like a seeing eye dog for blind people, or it was a seeing eye elephant. He's the only one in the whole wide world. He's an endangered species.
You should talk.
Let's go to another clip. TV viewers don't like to watch people talking. They like clips and multiple images and things like that. Introduce the next segment, Uncle Red.
All right, here's one of my favorite guests on the show. He's not gray, he doesn't have a trunk, and he knows what a bathroom is for.
You'll never forgive me, will ya?
I'll forgive you when the smell disappears.
You'll never forgive me, will ya?
Now, I'm out here on location again with Dougie Franklin, my good buddy, and his monster truck. And Dougie, this is one big, beautiful machine.
Well, I'll tell you, Red, it's gotta be big. You know, for competition. If you're gonna crush cars, you need a big truck. But it's a sport. It's like any other sport, like tennis, like high life, baseball, demolition derbies. You know, I'm a finely tuned athlete, as is my machine, and she's got to be big, and the thrill of competition is wonderful. You know, I mean, you just wondered how many cars you're going to crush on a given day. It's a fabulous feeling. It's very now. It's very the 90s, actually.
Yeah, and I think we should point out here, Dougie, that we are not talking about a bunch of lunatics tearing around a shopping mall parking lot flattening family sedans here.
Oh, no. You'd have a hard time getting insurance for that kind of thing, Red. And you know, a lot of families leave their pets in their vehicles when they go in to shop, you know. And it's a sad thing when you see a kitty stuck on the back window of one of them yuppie Volvo wagons, you know, just sweating on a hot day.
Yeah.
We don't want none of that. And also, it'd be very difficult charging admission to something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, it's because of I'm glad you brought this point up, Red, because the International Truck and Tractor Association, in cooperation with your fire department and I believe the SPCA was in there. They came up with this set of rules, and
That's a good idea, sure.
I got a copy of it right here.
You got the rules right here.
I do. There they are there now.
That's it, Doug?
Well, yeah.
These are all the rules?
Well, yeah, and then on the back there, we got Miss Truck and Tractor Poll 1991 with an entire list of all the events for the year.
God.
Yeah, there's a lot of events.
Doesn't seem like many rules.
Well, I mean, I do have the rules memorized if you want to go into this interview a little more in depth. Would you care to do that?
All right, yeah.
All right, well, rule number 1. Fred, there's your rule number 1. Everybody in this sport got to wear a helmet. We're talking the drivers, we're talking the mechanics, and actually, we distribute helmets to the audience. The entire audience are all completely helmeted. Now, we also encourage the use of helmets at home for the viewers as well. Now, rule number 2, very important rule, actually, is no running over the people in the audience. You abuse that rule, and people will quit coming.
Actually, that sounds kind of vague. You know, that's more of a guideline to me.
Red, it has to be. It has to be able to encompass monster trucks. They're not exact tools in the sense of that meaning, because when one of these babies goes over a big line of 1964 Strata Chiefs, you never know how one of these guys is going to fall. She could tilt off to the side.
Sure, yeah.
She could flip right over, which is why you got these suckers here over your head. Or she could just like roll up near some people and just blow up into a million pieces. And I'll tell you, if something like that happened,
Yeah.
You'd be mighty glad you was wearing your helmet.
Yeah. So you just have the 2 rules?
Oh no, there's rule number 3 actually, which is if you kill anybody, you gotta stick around till the police show up. And there's a big story behind that one, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But you know, if I could be serious just for a minute, Red, since I've been in this sport, I have met probably some of the finest human beings I've ever come across, and some of their trucks are even better.
I think maybe you monster truckers have got it made, eh, Doug?
I'll tell you, right off the bat, Red, I can't think of anything that would be more fun.
You're a bachelor, aren't you, Doug?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's Dougie Franklin and his monster truck, proving that size does matter to some guys anyway.
That bachelor business.
I remember the day when the railroad was king. The big wheels made rolling thunder. We were treated like freight, arriving 7 hours late. I'm personally glad they're all going under.
Oh, Uncle Red, how excellent. I was just about to tell the viewers that you're going to answer their mail in your own inimitable way.
My what?
Your own inimitable way.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? You've never heard of the word inimitable? You never heard that before?
Well, I've heard it before. I just never knew what it meant.
Weren't you at all curious what it meant? Didn't you think to go look it up in a dictionary?
You don't know what it means either, do you?
Yes, I do. I looked it up. It means recherche. Okay? Our first letter today asks for some advice from you, Uncle Red. It says, Dear Red, I'm in the market for a new car. Or new to me. I like used cars. I guess I'm a bit of an aficionado. Aficionado? What does that mean?
It means you can't afford a new car.
Well, how recherche? Any tips for the potential car buyer?
All right, that's a good one, Harold. I think when you're buying a used car, intimidation is the key. Don't just walk around the car kicking the tires, okay? Kick the fenders, kick the door panels, kick the headlights in, kick the dashboard.
What are you doing when you do that?
Well, you're trying to get the cost of the car down, and a car with kick marks all over it has got to be overpriced.
Oh, so I guess we can assume then the proper footwear is required.
Absolutely. I'd say that proper footwear is a key, as the intimidation is. And another thing is you want to ask them if you can take it for a test drive. If they say no, then I'd wonder about that. And they have tricks, Harold. I know when I bought my truck, they had Scotch taped a couple of extra spark plugs onto the engine to try to convince me that the V6 was a V8. I caught onto it.
Oh, yeah? How'd you do that?
Well, they fell off when I kicked the engine.
So kicking is important.
Well, it shows that you know cars. You know, I would even kick the salesman if you have to.
Oh, no. Wait a second, Uncle Red. I think you've gone over the top on that one. We do not want to advocate violence.
Yeah, well, all right. No, don't kick the salesman.
Right.
You know, but you might want to check the instrument panel. If you look at the odometer and you see a bunch of marks from a claw hammer, and it's a 10-year-old car with, say, 19 miles on it, I'd question that.
Yeah, that's really good advice. That's something to remember.
Yeah.
Uncle Red, is there like a good time or a bad time to buy a car?
Yeah, never buy a car at 3 o'clock in the morning.
All right, that's good. How about like North American cars versus domestic cars? No, I mean, no. I mean, like Japanese cars versus imported. No, that's not right.
No, all right, I understand. I got it. With the Japanese cars, you get more features, but with the American cars, you get more metal. And when you think about it, you know, we're all going to have head-on collisions now and then. So you're better to give up the power sunroof and go with a little more momentum.
Well, I hope that answers all our viewers' questions.
Yeah, and don't forget to kick everything. We have our outdoor expert, Bill, with us this week on a pole. Going to teach us about, I think he's just fooling around there. Going to teach us about canoeing and the various techniques to use for the beginning canoeer. Because you know, in these days when the cost of gas and everything, the
cast of Gauss and all that stuff is so high. Now, this is a paddle measurement technique. You want the paddle to come up to about your chin. So one's too short, one's too tall. So Bill comes up with a solution to that problem. Maybe not the ideal solution, but a solution nonetheless. And that one was fine anyway. So and it worked out. We have lots of paddles. And now he's going to show you how to get into a canoe. Now, I think a lot of what Bill does is he shows you, you know, the wrong way to do things. I think he knew that was coming. He's okay, no problem. And then what he wants to show, now he's showing you how to get in from the side. That was the end shot, this is the side shot. But here again, I think Bill, I'm pretty sure he meant to do that. He just looked like he was panicking, that's all there. It's just all for effect, I think. And now Bill's going to show you an interesting way to get in, which is the running start, kind of reminiscent of Wild Bill Hickok, you know, and that way you're underway. Unfortunately, he forgot to take a paddle, but, you know, I'm there, I can, well, I mean, I was doing my best. It's hard to estimate because he's moving, you know, it's tough, and I got a bit closer to this one. Oh my gosh. Anyway, he brings the canoe back in, and we now have a week's supply of drinking water. And we'll clean that up later on. Don't worry about that. So now Bill's going to show us the various paddling techniques. Now, what you want to do is stick your right arm out there and then grip it right where it gets fat. You know, reminds me of a date I was on one time. But anyway, and then put the other hand over the end. And no, there's something wrong here. That doesn't look right either. I'll turn it. It's fair play, you know. And now he's just using the dock to show you just a practice. Oh my gosh. We do go through a lot of paddles in a season. But eventually it gets to the point where the student, you know, has to have his first solo flight. And I was pretty excited about this, and I think I was doing a heck of a job. I didn't hit the dock, and I got moving pretty good there, you know. Yeah, I was quite proud. Well, You know, in retrospect, I think Bill should have taught me how to turn this thing around, too. Oh, well. He's fine.
It is winter. Your breath forms huge clouds that billow out and block your face. Hot air, thick and swirling. That's what you get for eating skunk. Every week we have Harold here come up with a viewpoint, give you some insight on what the young people of today are thinking about, and that's probably not the worst thing you'll ever see on television.
Okay. Pixie sticks. I remember one time when I was a little boy, right? I read in the back of a comic book, you could order like all these pixie sticks. You know what they are, right? You're like, okay, pixie sticks are like straws, right? And they're closed at both ends, but they're filled with like powdered sugar and flavor crystals, and you just go, you just suck all the powder out of them, right? They're excellent, they really are, they're really good. And I read in the book that you could order like 1,000 of them for $10. Great deal, right? So I get my best friend, I get my only friend, Larry Gorman. So him and we get together, right? And we figure, hey, what a perfect cause to dedicate our lives to while waiting to mature. Right? So we do this, and then we save all our money. We had money, we just ordered them. We just ordered them. And about a month later, we got this box from Racine, Wisconsin. We open it up. 1,000 pixie sticks. Oh, bonus day or what, right? So we start eating all these things. We're sucking all the sugar out of them, like our faces are all puckered and everything. It was great. We kept doing this until I got sick, and he hyperventilated an entire lung of powdered sugar. What a great day. Well, there's no real point to the story. I just wanted to relate that to you. I probably should have sung or something, hey?
Dumbo and I will be right back.
He only calls me that because I work for peanuts. Lighten up.
You know, I got the outboard overhauled the other day, and when I went to pick it up, I
young fella there, he had an earring.
Oh, yeah, I know
Like
him.
kind of a little stud or a jewel or something.
Louis.
I don't mean him, I mean the earring.
Yeah,
What is with that? I don't
that's fashion. That's the best.
That's like, is that a sexual orientation thing or?
I think not. It just says you're really cool and above stereotyping. It's wonderful. Pirates used to wear them. And would you confront a pirate in a dark alley?
Pirates had earrings?
Oh, yes. Some of them, most of them were clip-ons because, you know, you'd have to go out on the weekend. You don't want everybody to see the hole in your ear.
Well, that's it. Like, what do you do, you know, when you have to go to a family event, like a funeral or
Well,
something?
you put a fancy one in. You wouldn't wear just like anything. You'd have to wear like diamonds to go with the suit or a pearl.
You mean you're telling me that an earring is not a female?
Not necessarily, no. I was thinking of getting one.
Really?
Yeah, I was playing with your stud setter the other day.
You thought you could?
Pierced my finger, and I thought, well, wouldn't that look silly, an earring on my finger?
Well, you sure don't need another hole in your head. Anyway, I really hate to drag family arguments into my television show, but I'm sorry, we just have somebody here who has to be taught a lesson. Harold, come on over here. Now, Harold, I know that you think I'm making a real big to-do out of this elephant thing, and that you think I'm mean, and I'm just doing it to ridicule you, make you cry on television, that kind of thing. And I know you think I should just lighten up and maybe what you did wrong, and believe me, there was plenty of it. Maybe you thought you were doing the best thing for the show. Maybe what you did was out of maybe caring about your work. And I know that you like me. I know you're very fond of me, Harold, and I know that you look up to me and you really respect my judgment. So I've decided to kind of just let it go as a warning at this point, Harold. But I want you to remember what happened here. And from now on, I want you to come to me before you make these big decisions, all right?
I will. Yeah, thanks very much, Uncle Ed.
Okay, no, I'm only doing this because you promised me that you weren't the ones who gave the laxatives to the elephant, right?
That's right. That's right. That's me. That's right.
All right, so if my wife is watching, thank you for taping the show tonight. And when I come home, I'm going to stay up a bit late, and I'm going to watch this part back. And if I see Harold laughing behind me, he is dead meat. So, on behalf of myself and what is probably Harold's last show, and the whole gang up here at the lodge, until next time, keep your stick on the ice.